The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
Tuesday's top tips for marriage. So pay attention, please. The first tip, I believe it's very important. Always include your partner in your plans. Believe you or not, I am sure that all couples, they have already incurred in this mistake. How many times, I can say, I have to confess, how many times I've made this mistake, making decisions by myself and later on just informing my wife, and sometimes not even informing. She was just, find out last
After
minute.
it have happened.
Exactly. But look, never from my side, I can say that, and Karina knows, every time that happened was never, out of, how can I say?
On purpose.
Yes.
Just
I never had intention to do that, to hide something from her. But, the opposite is just because,
Just happened.
me being me. Men, because men sometimes is a bit like that, aired, head aired, and we don't notice things. That's why sometimes, men, they have, a hard time in noticing that a girl is, looking at them, observing them.
Because their mind sometimes is just somewhere else.
Exactly. Unfortunately, sometimes we men, we're a bit slow in this specific area, okay? But I'm not saying here that women, they are better than men or men better than women.
No, Pastor,
All of us, we have our own qualities, and that's why we're together. But always include your partner in your plans. Pastor Philip, tell me please, am I alone?
No, Pastor. I have done this mistake a couple of times, and I realized that it's important, and how important it is
for the sake of peace,
to have peace. So then you inform your plans. It's like just a small thing, but sometimes just a football match, or just something like simple, or just going to take a coffee. And sometimes you don't just inform me, and then afterwards, how come you didn't bring me there? You didn't inform me. You didn't let me know about anything, and now you didn't even bring one coffee for me.
Yeah, exactly. So these little things, I know there are people that they will observe, they will hear that, and this first tip, always include your partner in your plans, and they will think to themselves, but they are exaggerating. It's not like that. You don't need to be always telling where you're going, what you're doing. But look, that's the idea of a blessed marriage. It's partnership, and tell me please, what will make a partnership to be strong? Transparency. When you are transparent, when you are clear to each other, you will strengthen your relationship. And that's it. Because, I believe one of the foundations of a successful relationship is trust. When you trust each other, you have, you have a solid base. So no matter what happened, no matter what people speak about, because you have this solid foundation called trust, you have this stability.
Trust is not something that you build overnight. It's not something that just with one action or two that will build it. It is built throughout the days, throughout the years together. That's the reason why we say that the longer the couple they are together, the more they should trust each other.
Exactly.
More they have this transparency to speak about anything, to include themselves, the partner in their plans and everything.
This first tip, always include your partner in your plans, is not only about trust, but it's also about care. It's a demonstration of care. You're showing that you care about the person. Even if, maybe you think, oh no, but about this topic or about this subject, I am this expertise, I know what I'm doing. But it's always good for you to communicate. For example, let's say a couple where, just an example, okay? Let's say the wife is that more, involved or more, how can I say, used to technology and everything, and they need to buy a computer. So she goes in, okay, what is the point to talk about it with my husband? If I start speaking to him about storage, memory, RAM, processor, and all of these things, he would never understand these things. So you know what? Let me go and buy the computer, and that's it. Even if you think that it's a bit pointless for you to have, a conversation about something, but the point here is not for you to discuss the thing itself, okay? What is happening, but the real point is this, how can I say? Is this care? Is this the demonstration of trust, care,
to show the person that it's important the person to know.
Yeah.
To know what is going on, what is the plan. The person will feel like, oh, that's important. She is about to take a decision. She knows much better what she's doing. But even though even if they, she thinks, but if I speak to him, he will come to me and say, oh, come on, just you know better than me. Go and whatever you buy, I'm on it. I mean. And that's it. How many times, I have to say, my wife, she comes to me and say, what do you want to eat? And, whatever, The food, anything that's called food.
Anything I can eat. But she knows what I want.
Yeah.
She knows what I like. Perhaps she doesn't know what I want, but she knows what I like. But when she comes to ask, and sometimes she comes to ask knowing that my answer will be, I don't know, I'm not thinking about what. But this is a demonstration of care. She's like, she's including me in that decision. It's a simple decision. Yes, it's a very small decision, but you are including, your partner in these things. And by the way, that's how do you start doing these things, by the way. If you perhaps that's something new for you and your spouse, you are living separate lives, taking, separate decisions. Start including him, including her in these small decisions, and you see how different your relationship will become. Never use your heart when solving problems. Use your head instead. That's a classical tip here in the Love Talk Show, in the Love Therapy. This is one of the first lessons you must learn, when attending the Love Therapy, because emotion is a very important part of our lives. Okay, we don't want to sound like robots or like an iceberg here, saying that you have to live your life without emotions. Not at all. Emotions play a really important part in life. However, dear friends, emotions, they cannot be used, especially when you are making a decision. Never use emotions when making decisions, because that will be a disaster. But that will be a completely disaster. How many people, in the heat of the moment, moved by, an anger, or maybe moved by an excitement, they made a decision that later they regret. I'm sure that you have already this experience before, when you go, for example, to the shopping center and you see, that nice product, that nice pair of shoes full of lights all around.
The lights pointed to it like shine, say, buy me.
Placed in the center of the window, and that demonstration of, that's the shoe you need to be, empowered. And people, they go and buy that shoe that's sometimes a bit expensive, and later on they realize, as soon as they put in their feet,
I don't need it.
Oh, what did I do? What did I do?
I could bought many other things with that money.
Exactly. And sometimes it's something that they didn't need that moment.
Yeah.
But that's the result. That's just, a small example of decisions made by emotions. And like sometimes, couples, they think in the heat of the moment, because, one of them made a mistake, okay, so I want to get out of my house. I want a divorce. I want to separate. And not only that, in the heat of the moment, it's not only about solving problems, but, emotions, they are terrible, especially when you are, about to say something, to make a decision. Emotions, they are never a good tool. Never a good tool. You say things that later you regret. You do things that later you regret. You make decisions that later you will regret as well.
Yes, Pastor. And emotions can bring a lot of problems. No? A person, when he's using the emotions, most of the time they are not thinking.
Yeah.
And when a person is not thinking, is with the moment that is the beginning of a big disaster. No?
Yeah.
Anything in any area.
Yeah, emotions, as I said before, plays a really important role in life, but definitely is not in making decisions. Okay?
We all have emotions at all times.
Yes.
But we cannot allow the emotions to take control of our...
Of course. How many times, when your husband says something, your wife says something that upsets you, and when you feel that anger, when you feel that thing inside, that's just an emotion. If you hold your emotions and do nothing and hold that for at least 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you see that these emotions, they will cool down, and you realize, okay, thank God I didn't say that. Thank God I didn't do that, because they will realize, how profitable is to tame your emotions, to tame your heart. So never, ever use emotions to resolve problems. Never, but your head instead. Okay, think once, twice, if necessary, 3, 4, 5 times, 10 times, but make sure. But of course, don't think too much, okay? Don't think too much. If you have to make a decision, do it, okay? And don't go around asking people's opinion. If you have to, and by the way, I know I don't want to divert the topic, but when you seek an advice, first consider the advisor, okay? First consider the advisor. Because there are people that they will seek, advice for their love life, to someone that is divorced, is still alone. There is always exchanging, partners, they are exchanging clothes. So that's not wise. As I said here many times, would you seek financial advice with a beggar, with someone that is, deep in debt? Definitely not, because you would say, come on, that's not reasonable. How can I seek advice to someone that is in a situation perhaps worse than yours? So when you go and seek advice to people that they are in a similar situation to yours, that's not wise. So think, and this is part of using your head instead of your heart. This is very important, very important. You can read there, pray together and pray for each other. When you pray, especially when you pray together with your wife, with your husband, there is a spiritual connection. And this is very strong. When you talk to God with your husband, with your wife by your side, and even if you who are dating, you who are engaged, maybe, I hope you're not sleeping together, but maybe you can pray over the phone, maybe when you come to the church. If you are dating, why don't you come, a bit before the service in the law therapy, for example? Go to the altar 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before, the law therapy begins, and there say your prayer together, holding hands before the altar. You couple, husband, wife, do it. And not only on Thursdays, but start to do that, every single day. Every single day. You know what is a prayer? Prayer is a communication. You are talking to God. You're talking to God. And when you talk to God, you are talking because you believe He's listening to your prayer, right? As for example, I'm talking to this camera now. I can't see your face. I don't know where you are. Actually, I know because some people, they are telling here on the chat, but I don't know who you are. I don't know. For example, we have people here that I'm reading your name every single day, but I've never seen your face. And perhaps I will never, because we have people here from, all around. But why do I speaking to this camera now? I'm looking to a camera here. I'm not looking to faces. You know why? Because I believe that you are listening to this message. When you pray to God, is that you are not seeing God, but you believe that He's listening to you.
The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.